Breaking news at Kansas City International Airport. A Spirit Airlines flight from Akron, Ohio to Las Vegas making an emergency landing at KCI. Pilots say they smelled an unknown odor in the cockpit. The pilots and passengers put on air masks as the jet landed safely. They continued their flight using a plane meant for Kansas City passengers. This line you see, local Spirit Airlines flyers who now have to rebook.
And more breaking news. Kansas City, Missouri police are now investigating a deadly shooting at Swope in Benton. They're now looking for the suspect. We'll bring you the latest information as it becomes available.
More breaking news, live pictures from Riverside County, California. Look at this picture here. The ABC affiliate in Los Angeles says the fire grew from about 10 acres around 3:30 p.m. to more than 1,200 acres and still growing within the past hour. No structures damaged yet, but some are threatened.
And we are now heading to your first alert weather.
Yeah, heavy rain creating a flood threat tonight.
And this is drone video of a flooding at a golf course in Springfield. Flooding's already caused 2 deaths in Missouri.
Meteorologist Neville Miller has your first alert on what will happen next.
Well, hey guys, many of our creeks and rivers are running high right now from all the rain that we've received, and we still have more rain to get through, a little more rain heading through tonight into early Monday, and those river and creek levels, they're going to stay high for the next couple of days. That's why we've got a flood warning still in effect for many of our southern and our eastern communities just south of Johnson County on the Kansas side and just south of Jackson County on the Missouri side. Let me update you first here on First Alert Live Radar. Still a few showers that are drifting through the region. We've got one area of light rain moving to the north of I-70 in Kansas City, heading up to North Kansas City, Avondale up towards Riverside and Gladstone. You'll notice some areas of light rain, a few more of those showers drifting in from the south. You can see some of that rain has been lifting northward from near Harrisonville to the south of Gardner, a few more showers as well. All of this in general, relatively light. We'll continue to see off and on rain through tonight. And look at this low. It's going to get chilly tonight. We'll drop back to 39 degrees, scattered showers, falling temperatures despite having a southwest wind. And looking ahead, even though the rain for the most part is wrapping up, at least the heavy rain, the flooding threat is still there. So I'm going to explain more about that, and I'll have some safety precautions and tips that you want to make sure that you check out. Also have more on that rain timeline of when we finally dry things out, and then we'll look ahead to our next chance of rain because we're not totally done with rain in the 7-day forecast. More on that coming up.
More people in Branson having to evacuate tonight because floodwater continues to rise.
Brian Johnson has been covering the situation in Branson since Friday. He joins us live.
Hey guys, the impacts are all over the city. Anyone who's been to Branson knows this intersection. We are at East Main Street and the Branson Landing Boulevard. Check out all this water. This is, being pumped from the basement of the Hilton here. Big Whiskey's 3 feet at its peak was filling the basement here last night. For the last 12 or 18 hours, they have been pumping water out of here. The water is so high in parts there are evacuations ordered. Some people have left, but others have chosen to stay.
I would imagine that we're getting the full force of the water now.
Ralph and Beatrice Phillips know what flooding looks like.
We've been watching the water all afternoon, and it's coming back up now because they've opened more gates on the dam.
At Table Rock Dam, the Army Corps of Engineers releases 485,000 gallons of water each second.
They called us and they told us all to evacuate.
But they're here and plan to stay.
We've had 4 floods down here in the last 5 years.
None have hurt their home. At 92 and 89,
Dock isn't bouncing any that I can see.
They don't want to miss a moment.
We don't know how many times we're going to get to see this again.
Tonight, Lake Tenicomo looks like a river.
Well, it's moving right on down.
Twice its normal size and 4 times its normal speed.
Look at that log going by out there.
So far it's entertainment because it doesn't look like it's going to get us.
They say the Corps has improved their tactics and they got it right this time.
There's been several changes made, and I believe it's going a lot better this year. If it starts getting cold, say so, we go home.
The Phillips are confident their home will be safe.
I'm going to sleep in my bed right across the street there, and I don't generally like to sleep in water.
Live pictures now. This water continues to flow. There's actually 2 of these hoses in addition to that gigantic yellow one that you saw earlier. Now the water behind the dam continues to increase despite that added flow, and so the Army Corps of Engineers may need to increase the water that they're pouring out here into Lake Tenicomo.
Ryan Johnson reporting Table Rock Lake is expected to crest sometime on Monday. We'll take you there live to Branson tomorrow morning on First News for an update. And flooding shut down Seneca, Missouri, which is right on the Oklahoma state line. Lost Creek overflowed after days of heavy rain. Crews from Kansas City were among those helping to evacuate people from the town. The Seneca fire chief says the number of water rescues there nearing 100.
Severe weather responsible for 2 deaths in Missouri this weekend. 72-year-old Madeline Kruger swept away in a vehicle near Cleaver in southwest Missouri. The Missouri State Highway Patrol says her husband tried to save her. Troopers were able to rescue her husband. Rising water in Neosho, Missouri, getting inside homes. Between 6 and 8 inches of rain fell in that area. Many homeowners saying they've never had water get in their houses before.
Well, take a look at this video of a massive sinkhole near West Plains, Missouri. That's south of Rolla. The Missouri Highway Patrol tweeted these aerials this evening. Significant rainfall is a key ingredient to creating those sinkholes.
Unbelievable. Well, several rivers across Missouri reaching record levels.
Governor Eric Greitens calling on the National Guard to help in the days ahead as flooding continues.
On the Merrimack River, the Current River, Gasconade, and it looks like in parts of the Mississippi River, it's going to come very close to historic levels of flooding.
Your first alert to flooding. Several major roads. I-44 between Rolla and Lebanon will remain closed tomorrow. Route 63 between Rolla and Jefferson City also closed. And here's a look at some of that flooding. This is Interstate 44 at Hazel Green. All 4 lanes under deep water.
Here in the metro, water moving fast along Brush Creek. A lot of runoff from this weekend's rain. The ground's saturated. We're expecting more rain overnight and into the morning. And here in the metro, expected rain won't be able to drain as fast.
Taisha Walker is live where hundreds of people have gone without electricity all day.
Kelly, we have one of the brighter lights here on Ralston Avenue. You can see right behind me, pitch black. About 400 KCP&L customers still without power after last night's storm. We even saw some people using flashlights to get around. Storm Saturday created problems above and below. Police cars blocked 2 lanes of I-70 West traffic near the Paseo, preventing other cars from hitting a deep pothole. On East 67th Terrace in Raytown.
It was kind of like a flashback from when the tree fell on our house last year.
This giant came crashing onto her neighbor's car.
They just moved in about a week and a half ago. They just bought the house and just got moved in.
Several blocks over, cable lines buckling to this force of nature. Lives and the neighbor's beloved camper spared. And the electric company lists the source of that outage as vegetation. Not sure if that means trees down, but we don't know yet when the power will be restored here in Sugar Creek. Matt and Kelly.
Taisha Walker reporting. We're also getting reports about several trees down in the Lee Summit area. And flooding is the leading cause of weather-related deaths in Missouri and Kansas. More than half of the people killed by flooding got caught in their cars, stuck in high water. All it takes is less than a foot of moving water to push a vehicle. Don't attempt to drive into water. Depth can be deceiving.
The latest on those deadly tornadoes in Texas. Storm chasers capturing video of one tornado in the Canton area. 4 people killed after a series of tornadoes destroyed that area. Today, our first clear look at the size of the damage. This is a view from the air of Canton, Texas, a Dodge dealership in the path of a strong tornado. Cars and trucks thrown hundreds of feet from the lot. Hundreds of people joined search parties.
And my dad came running inside and said, "It's here, get to cover." So we ran to our back hallway, laid down, prayed.
Storms also rolling through Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama. And another look at another tornado, this one near Eustis, Texas, about 60 miles from Dallas, moving toward Athens.
Well, an Exabase Heart to Heart International is proof of the Metro's giving nature. The humanitarian organization mobilizing in response to the devastating flooding in Missouri. Supplies, kits, and equipment are headed south along with volunteers and staff. They all came together at the Heart to Heart warehouse in Lenexa today.
The fact is that the floods that are hitting South Missouri are far worse than the floods up here, and we're responding to those floods headed right now for the Neosho area.
Everything is being sent out today. Heart to Heart has been involved in relief missions in more than 130 countries. Well, Kansas Governor Sam Brownback announcing a state of emergency following widespread flooding in southeast Kansas and a snowstorm in western Kansas. The National Guard has been helping drivers stranded by closed or impassable roads. I-70 closed to all traffic from Hayes west to Colorado because of blizzard-like conditions. There are warming centers open for stranded travelers.
Breaking news out of Kansas City, Kansas. Crews at the scene of a house house fire near 10th and Everett. The fire chief saying the home was empty when the fire started there. He's given the all clear. 2 Liberty students have been disciplined for posting a Snapchat video making threats against South Valley Middle School. Liberty police found out about the threat. The Liberty School District says it's another reminder of the consequences of poor choices made on social media. The Walmart near the Legends evacuated in Kansas City, Kansas. It was closed for 2 hours. Somebody called police saying there was a suspicious device in the Walmart. Police did not find anything suspicious and the store reopened.
Well, breaking news tonight out of Washington, Republicans and Democrats have reached an agreement to keep the government running through September. Congress will vote on the $1 trillion spending bill this week. President Trump says he's not putting a timeline on passing health care reform. He says the bill is different now.
But we have now pre-existing conditions in the bill. We've set up a pool for the pre-existing conditions so that the premiums can be allowed to fall. We're taking across all of the borders or the lines so that insurance companies can compete.
House Speaker Paul Ryan says the health care bill will be up for a vote when they're ready. President Trump responding to nuclear tension involving North Korea for the 3rd time this month. The country's mid-range ballistic missile test ended in failure. He says eventually they'll have good missiles and that the United States can allow North Korea to develop a better delivery system. The country routinely test fires a variety of missiles despite bans from the United Nations.
Raising taxes and fixing schools, the 2 major challenges facing Kansas lawmakers right now.
Michael Mahoney takes a look at the task at hand. Here's Mahoney's Minute.
The break is over for the Kansas legislature. They're back Monday. Boy, do they have a lot to do. First, figuring out how to plug a $900 million hole in the next 2 state budgets. Almost everybody figures a tax increase is coming, but what kind? Now remember that Governor Sam Brownback vetoed one tax plan. Lawmakers tried to override that and came close but failed. So it looks like they're going to try again. Johnson County State Senator Barbara Boyer was asked by public radio last week if moderates would again cave to the State House conservatives on this. Hell no, she said. We'll see. After that, then they have to move to the school budget. Now, the Kansas Supreme Court says 25% of Kansas students aren't where they should be. So they'll have to find another $700 to $800 million more to satisfy the court by the end of June. This is ugly math. $900 million to fill the budget holes for the next 2 years, $700 to $800 million more for schools to meet the court ruling. This is important stuff. I hope they're up to it. It's my minute.
And we still have some rain to get through as we continue on into our Sunday night and Monday morning. Parts of the area still dealing with flooding. I'll have some flood safety tips for you. Also, your first alert when that rain finally gets out of here. That's coming up.
We'll also have the latest on breaking news after an emergency landing at KCI. A live look at Kansas City International Airport. Spirit Airlines passengers trying to rebook. That's because their plane was given to another plane load of passengers who made an emergency landing at KCI. Spirit Airlines flight from Akron, Ohio to Las Vegas, making that emergency landing. Pilots say they smelled an unknown odor in the cockpit. The pilots and passengers put on air masks as the jet landed safely.
Well, our first alert weather coverage of historic flooding continues. This is a look at Hammond's Mill Bridge on Highway CC near West Plains, Missouri. The entire bridge has been washed downstream. This has been the wettest month on record for that area of southern Missouri. Tomorrow's classes have been canceled at Missouri State University, West Plains. Neville Miller with a first alert weather update in just moments.
A North Carolina man is in custody after leading police on not 1 but 2 wild police chases. The first started when officers spotted a car connected to a home invasion. The man eventually ditched that car, then stole another one, leading police on a new chase. Officers decided to spin him out. You just saw that since they were approaching an elementary school. Police say the driver had 3 guns inside the first car.
Well, Home Depot has removed personal information from about 8,000 customers that was available on public web pages. Some of the customers' files even came up on Google searches. Financial data was not part of the list. It's unclear how long the information was accessible. And about 21,000 AT&T wireless workers could walk off the job as soon as tomorrow. The Communications Workers of America Union gave the company 72 hours notice Friday of a possible walkout. CWA members have been working on a rolling extension of their previous labor contracts since early February. They have yet to strike a deal with AT&T.
An unexpected dinner guest for an Ohio family. They were given 15 minutes notice. Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg would join them for a meal. Dan Moore got a call last week from somebody who's connected with Zuckerberg, asking if he'd like to have dinner with a special guest.
His staff people, he just said, I work for a very wealthy philanthropist from California, and 90% of Americans use his product.
Zuckerberg's goal is to visit people in all 50 states this year and hear about their struggles. The Moores were picked partly because they were Democrats who voted for President Trump last year.
Out of First Alert weather, severe weather in our area and parts of the southeast this weekend.
Emergency crews in Jonesboro, Arkansas raced to evacuate several homes this morning. Police and firefighters helped people get to the Red Cross shelter. One woman's home began to flood around 6 a.m.
When I woke up this morning, I was so scared. I was having panic attacks. I went to my kitchen and I looked, and that water was about a feet deep.
The National Weather Service says more than 4 inches of rain fell in that area overnight.
Well, it's not always severe weather that requires a first alert. Sometimes you need to plan your weekend or what your kids are going to wear at the school bus stop.
Yeah, meteorologist Jennifer McDermott shows you how First Alert Live Radar can help every day.
Rain, snow, and fog are just some examples of weather that we see daily here at our homes in Kansas and Missouri. We can show you that information from our radar, which we receive right here from our live radar. So why is our live radar important to you?
That's just common sense. You want to know if there's some danger involved in the weather. I mean, who wants to be not prepared for a tornado?
The one to the right is the one we're concerned about, and that is the one we have seen touch the ground.
Not only does it detect severe weather faster than any other radar in Kansas City, but it is capable of giving you a more accurate forecast to help you plan day to day, minute by minute. Our live radar is capable of detecting precipitation within 300 miles of its location, and it's 6 times faster than any radar in the Kansas City area. This allows your family to act quicker.
I'm a mother of 5, so sometimes if my kids are spread out, I got to figure out how to get everybody prepared. So the quicker we know, the better we're able to prepare. So that's a mom perspective, I guess.
Severe weather is critical to our live radar, but so are the smaller things like mist, freezing rain along with wind. Those small things can make a big impact in your plans, and our live radar will be there to tell you about it first.
All right, she said it right there. Our First Alert Live Radar gets those sweeps very quickly, getting you the newest information and the fastest information you can get in the area. And here's a look at First Alert Live Radar. You see how those showers are just drifting in from the southwest, seeing a few more of those showers near Gardner and Paola. Really nothing too heavy in our area, but until the whole storm system, I'm going to zoom it out here, until this whole system passes, we're going to continue to have off and on areas of light showers at least through tomorrow morning. I think after that the system will eventually lift off to the northeast, but you still see that big spin rotating in showers from the south, even some snow on the backside of this storm across much of Kansas, in the western parts of Nebraska where they had blizzard conditions. I-70 was closed down near Salina and areas westward, so it's caused a lot of problems, not to mention all the flooding that we've been dealing with for parts of our area, and especially in southern Missouri and southern parts of Kansas down to Oklahoma and Arkansas. We still have a flood warning till 1:15 tomorrow afternoon as you go just south of Jackson County on the Missouri side, just south of Johnson County on the Kansas side. So that includes you in parts of Miami County, Lynn County, Cass, Bates, heading into parts of Johnson, Henry, over towards Saline, Pettis, and down to Benton counties until 1 o'clock in the afternoon, 1:15. And that's because the water is still high in these areas. And some of the pictures you've sent in really do illustrate that. Robin Nicole Higgins sent in this picture from near the Johnson County, Henry County border. And you can see the water over the road right there. Just a great example of turning around, be safe, don't drown. We say it all the time, but really it's something very important. Cody Bryan sent this one in from Warrensburg, Missouri. You see the playground. You see just, again, how high the water is there. And another picture. And all these are coming in from where we have that flood warning still in effect. Freeman, Missouri. Sherry Howard sent this one in. This is typically a road, so you get the idea that many areas are dealing with road flooding. If you have any flooding pictures, or if you see flooding and it's safe for you to take those pictures, go ahead and send those pictures to news@kmbc.com. If you want to email them, or on Twitter, Neville KMBC, or Facebook or Instagram, great ways you can send me your flood pictures, your flood reports, and let me know where you're seeing flooding and that really helps us tell the weather story. All right, I do want to pass along some flood safety information. Very easy information, great way to keep yourself and your family safe. You probably already know this, but I'm just going to send you a reminder here. Don't drive or walk through floodwater. Very easy, but people die from flooding every year. We don't want any more of that. So be safe. Just totally avoid it. Just a reminder, floodwater can be contaminated with gas, with oil, with sewage. So it is, you don't even want to be near it. And on top of that, even as the floodwaters recede, roads may be weakened. As that water recedes back, it may erode away some of the soil, so that may cause some additional issues there. So just totally avoid those areas. Look for an alternate route if you live near some of those low water crossings or if you live near areas where the water is still very high. Your drive forward tomorrow morning, you may be driving through some of those showers. Temperatures will be chilly, near 40 degrees. So you want the heavy coats for yourself, for the kids as well, the umbrellas. Also, check out that wind out of the west at 10 to 20 miles an hour. So it's going to be a breezy start to our Monday. I do want to show you the timing of the rain because eventually we're going to get the rain out of here. I'm starting a future scan out at midnight, so we're going to head towards your morning drive tomorrow. As I mentioned, still some showers to deal with. This is a look at 7 o'clock in the morning. Now check things out as we get closer to noon. We're going to lift most of these showers out of here, maybe a little bit of leftover drizzle at midday, but then look at the second half of the day on Monday. We get the rain way out of here, and we actually break up some of the clouds. So I do think we'll see some sunshine for tomorrow, and I think the second half of your Monday will be pretty nice. Here's the hourly breakdown. You want the heavier coats early. It is going to be a breezy day. Showers mainly before 10 a.m. Temperatures will have a hard time warming up with the clouds and showers. Only near 48 degrees at lunchtime, but then upper 50s for the afternoon. We do get some of the sunshine back. We'll have that breezy west wind. 15 to 25 miles an hour, but all in all, the afternoon looks great. Great weather for the Royals game. The Royals have a long homestand, and we're going to see some nice weather this week as we head into the start of May. 66 for a high on Tuesday. Showers possible Tuesday night and Wednesday, a 30% rain chance. 62 degrees are high on Wednesday, but then the rest of the week looks awesome. 60s as we get into your Thursday and Friday. The weekend, we're talking about sunshine with high temperatures back in the 70s.
All right, Neville, our Martin Augustine will be live in Branson following the flooding concerns in that area. That's all on First News starting at 4:30 on KMBC.
A series of deadly tornadoes in Texas, another one in Mississippi, the severe weather striking the nation.
Tonight, we continue to follow a series of deadly tornadoes from this weekend's storms.
This massive tornado touched down in Canton, Texas. It was breaking news last night. ABC's Marcy Gonzalez shows you the aftermath.
Tonight, at least 4 people dead after 4 powerful tornadoes tore through Texas.
There is a tornado crossing the road right in front of us.
This giant wedge tornado slamming into the town of Canton, ripping homes from their foundations,
completely demolished,
leaving trucks wrapped around trees. And at this car dealership, an entire lot of new vehicles demolished.
What could have happened to all these people? And my son could have been in there.
Here at the Rustic Barn, it was prom night. The teens just starting to arrive when the dance's DJ, Chris Ingram, saw the giant twister moving towards them.
I ran in, I said, we got to get cover. It's going to be a direct hit.
He and the venue's owner rushing about 20 people into 2 bathrooms and this storage closet where they rode out the storm.
People were screaming and crying. We backed our backs up against this door right here.
And when they finally came out, this is what they saw. The building torn apart. The 3 rooms people were hiding in, the only ones left standing.
And if that Texas tornado struck 45 minutes later, hundreds of teenagers attending a prom could have been seriously injured.
Unbelievable damage.
Yeah, incredible.
Yeah. All right, well, First Alert meteorologist Neville Miller tracking more rain that will impact your Monday. The growing problem closer to home, more flooding in Arkansas. 2 children swept away in the floodwater, and the search continues tonight.
And take a look at this picture from the Missouri State Highway Patrol, a rescue boat in the water. Floodwater continues to rise in Van Buren on the Current River.
We continue to follow this breaking news story out of KCI tonight. Dozens of local passengers rebooking their flight tonight. Their plane was given to another group of Spirit Airlines passengers who made an emergency landing here earlier this evening after the pilots smelled an unknown odor in the cockpit. Pilots say it was not smoke. They landed safely. They went on to Las Vegas in another plane. We've been watching all these passengers wait in line to rebook. Looks like they have a long night ahead of them.
I'd say so.
Yeah, well, your first alert to growing chances of flooding.
Water is rising in Branson, where the Corps of Engineers is releasing more water from Table Rock Lake.
First alert meteorologist Neville Miller shows you what to expect.
Oh, hey guys, even though the rain is letting up, we're not totally done with the rain. The water levels are still very high, so flooding is still going to be an issue for us. So I do want to get to that first alert there that we're not out of the woods just yet. even though our rain chances will be decreasing over the next 12 hours. Let me get you updated right now first on where we are still seeing some rain. Showers in general have been relatively light. As you head down I-35, very close to Gardner, just to the south of Olathe near Spring Hill, we are seeing some areas of light showers, a little bit of that light rain a little farther north, closer to Liberty, near Kearney, to the north of Richmond. Paola, Ottawa, you're picking up on some of this very light rain. You might notice some light drizzle. This rain is going to continue off and on until we can get this whole storm system to kick on out through the region. It's still centered just off to our west, pretty close to Topeka, so it's going to continue rotating in showers, even some snow on the backside. No snow for us, the good news there, but I think we may have some rain to contend with heading into your Monday morning drive. So your first alert for tomorrow morning, showers possible. It's going to be a chilly start. Temperatures near 40 degrees, breezy as well, that west wind at 10 to 20 miles an hour. I'll let you know when this rain finally gets out of here, plus I'll have an updated look at your 7-day forecast. That's coming up.
Well, Missouri's first responders in action this weekend, performing over 100 evacuations and 135 rescues.
In Arkansas tonight, an ongoing search for 2 children swept away in floodwater. ABC's Philip Minna shows you the dangerous effort.
Search and rescue crews arm in arm, foot by foot, looking for any sign of 2 children swept away by powerful floodwaters. The 18-month-old girl and 4-year-old boy were trapped inside a truck that was swept away. The mother managed to escape.
This is a very dangerous operation. The further downstream they go, the faster that water is rushing and the harder it is for them to hold their footing.
Right now, parts of Arkansas, Oklahoma, and Missouri all under a state of emergency. Several deaths blamed on this storm, including a firefighter hit by a car while checking utility lines. Authorities there ordering evacuations. For some, it was too late. This pregnant mother and her husband trapped, firefighters rescuing them by boat. In Missouri, this man barely escaping from his truck before it was submerged in rushing waters. In Oklahoma, hail and heavy wind pounding the state. Rushing water trapping people inside this restaurant near Tulsa. And an 8-year-old boy sucked into a storm drain in Illinois.
Your 8-year-old child sucked into a drain pipe.
Somehow coming out 50 feet on the other end, alive and okay.
That is amazing. Well, a lesson in the power of severe weather. Take a look at these images from Texas. Tornadoes there through and smashed cars. 4 people died as storms moved through several small towns east of Dallas. Storms cut a path of destruction 35 miles long, 15 miles wide.
In LaFleur County, Oklahoma, the National Weather Service confirmed 2 tornadoes touched down, an EF1 and an EF2. The tornadoes were not on the ground very long. There was some home and tree damage.
Well, live first alert radar is a crucial tool we use every day of the year.
And Chief Meteorologist Brian Busby talked with a legendary TV broadcaster about how a tornado changed his life and his mission.
I'm at work and looking forward to being a part of the team.
It was 1989. I thought we were really prepared for any kind of eventuality.
For Bob Barron,
now here is that line of heavy thunderstorms.
One storm would change all that.
We had a F4 tornado come through in '89 that was literally without warning.
Unconfirmed reports of a couple of tornadoes on the ground.
Without any way to track the tornado.
So really all we had were weather gadgets that day, which failed us completely.
The Firestone building has collapsed. Cars are reported upside down. Part of the school's roof has collapsed.
It cut a devastating path through Huntsville.
I felt at the time that I had kind of failed in my fiduciary responsibility to the community.
That deadly tornado went through this portion of Huntsville, Alabama, killing just under 24 people. Obviously, they've rebuilt. And Bob Barron hopes to build on what he's learned to make sure other families stay safe.
Clearly an intense rotation and then debris.
Steve Bray,
you have the confidence to go on and say, this is a tornado.
Is continuing Barron's vision.
Which is to produce the best products and to save lives.
When saving lives can come down to just minutes' notice.
5 minutes can be an eternity in the development of storms.
You can see it tightening in its rotation, and this is where the tornado formed.
It is Barron's vision to be the fastest and most accurate. Rain Valley is hitting you at 6:06.
When we applied our algorithms, and we could generally tell you 5 minutes before anybody else could.
From Huntsville to our viewing area, a life-saving tool at our fingertips as we get ready for the upcoming severe weather season.
Those who invest in their own live radar are making a major investment for the community.
And our Martin Augustine will be live in Branson following the flooding concerns in that area. It's all on First News starting at 4:30 a.m. on KMBC.
New tonight, an explosion on an Ohio interstate. This is I-75 in Dayton, Ohio. And look at that. Initial reports, a wrong-way driver crashed. There was a big fire, a massive explosion there. One person confirmed dead. Police shut down all the lanes to let that fire burn out. Well, President Trump says he is not going to talk about military options with North Korea. He says the U.S. shouldn't be announcing all our moves.
I would not be happy. If he does a nuclear test, I will not be happy. And I can tell you also, I don't believe that the president of China, who is a very respected man, will be happy either.
North Korea recently tested a medium-range missile. It was not the nuclear test that was expected late last week.
Apple, Uber, and Tesla are asking California DMV to revise its proposals on self-driving cars. The rule requires companies to track how long a car's self-driving mechanisms are turned off and put under the control of a human driver. That idea is that it will provide transparency about how long these cars are driving themselves. But Apple argues the requirement is too strict.
Well, it was advertised as a luxury music and arts festival in the Bahamas. Guests have all safely returned home after arriving to chaotic conditions. Fire Festival organizer Ja Rule says he's relieved all guests are safe and have been sent the form to apply for a refund. Tickets range from $1,500 to $12,000, but when it started on Friday, the festival was only half finished and many bands dropped out of the lineup. A safety alert tonight as hackers target Netflix.
More breaking news to tell you about. 4 men shot to death in Topeka, Kansas. A 5th man in the hospital. The shooting at a home, which is also a private business. Police say the gunman took his own life.
Tonight, there is a safety alert to tell you about a serious cyber threat.
Hackers targeting Netflix, holding popular shows hostage. ABC's Maria Scevia-Campo on the ransom they're demanding.
This is not a negotiation.
Tonight, Netflix seeing red over the reported leak of Orange is the New Black more than a month before the show's scheduled release.
What? Why?
The hacking group The Dark Overlord reportedly stealing the 10 episodes from a post-production company, leaking them after the hackers say Netflix refused to pay a ransom. In a press release, gloating, "It didn't have to be this way, Netflix. You're going to lose a lot more money in all of this than what our modest offer was." Now, the hackers claiming to have stolen content from Fox, IFC, Nat Geo, and ABC, making more ransom demands. Our offers are still on the table for now.
The companies need to be good all the time. The hackers need to be lucky once. Anything that you have stored electronically that has a path to the internet has risk.
A police department in Kansas City paying $500 to get their data back from the hackers.
Well, the Royals lose another one at home.
We get reaction from the clubhouse as they say goodbye to April.
And parts of our area picked up between 2 to 6 inches of rain over the weekend, and we're still not done. I'll have your first alert when that rain finally gets out of here. That's after the break.
And now, KMBC 9 Sports, sponsored by your local Kansas City Honda dealers.
In about an hour, we say goodbye to April. The Royals are thankful for that. They closed out the month on a 9-game losing streak, their worst since April of 2012. The Royals took on the Twins today, hoping to avoid their 9th straight loss. Second inning, Salvador Perez has a shot to the right center field gap. Eric Hosmer will be able to score from first on the double, and it's 1-0 Kansas City. Same inning, Salvi, he moves over to third. Brandon Moss, a guy the Royals need more from, hits a bloop single to left field. Salvi scores, and it's 2-0 Royals. The lead vanishes with a swing of the bat. Miguel Sano. He has some power and he shows it off. Sano drills a 3-run shot to left field off Jason Hamill. The Twins go up 3-2 in the third. Sano had 5 RBIs in this game. Lorenzo Cain, he's having a good season. What's missing is some power, and today he shows it. Cain hits his first home run of the season. It's a solo home run to left field. The Twins build a big lead. The Royals try to rally in the bottom of the ninth. Whit Merrifield at the plate lines a solo home run to left field, just fair. That cut the Twins' lead to 2 in the ninth, but the Royals lose 7-5 at the final. The Royals only won 7 games this April, losing 9 straight. The mood is sour in the clubhouse. Jason Hamill gets the loss. Hamill is still looking for his first win in a Royals uniform.
I got to clean up the mistakes. It's ridiculous. It's amateur stuff that I'm doing right now. Just trying to do too much.
You know, we gotta get, you know, the pitching, the defense, and the hitting all on the same track, and then we can get on a run.
Regardless of how April was, it's a really good team, and
we know what we're capable of, and we just got to come out tomorrow and try to stop this skid we're on and get hot.
We definitely got to get going. As a group, we've definitely been struggling. It's just been tough. It's been a tough month, I guess.
May begins tomorrow, and the Royals are sending one of their best this season to the mound. Jason Vargas gets a start against Dylan Covey when the White Sox come to town for a 4-game series. Vargas has a 1.40 ERA. Dylan Covey starts for Chicago. Game starts at the K at 7:15. Women's soccer, FC Kansas City loses on the road against Blue Sky FC in New Jersey. 1-0 is the final. Kansas City drops to 1-2 on the season. They return home next Sunday when the Orlando Pride come to Swope Park. Sporting Kansas City is off to a hot start. Sporting shut out its rival Real Salt Lake last night at home 3-0. Sporting has had issues with Salt Lake, but not last night. A quick turnaround for Sporting. New York Red Bulls come to Children's Mercy Park this Wednesday night. Sporting is currently tied for second in the Western Conference standings, with FC Dallas the only team they lost to this season. Portland, which lost to Sporting, leads the West by 2 points over Sporting. UMKC women's tennis wins the WAC championship. It's their first conference championship in school history. The Roos beat New Mexico State to advance to the NCAA tournament. The men follow that up with a victory themselves over New Mexico State. They win the WAC conference championship in tennis as well. Congrats to the Roos. In NBA playoffs, this game seen on KMBC today, Celtics and Wizards begin their series in the second round. Isaiah Thomas gets an elbow to the mouth. Check it out, he loses a tooth, picks it up off the floor. Thomas has a new smile with a missing tooth. That did not seem to throw him off. He stays in the game. Thomas gets hot from outside. See the three-pointer here. He had a team high 33 points in the first game of the series. Celtics win this one, the best of 7 series as game one, 123-111 is the final. NASCAR will be making a stop in Kansas City in just 2 weeks. This week they're in Richmond. The yellow 22 car, that's Joey Logano. He takes the lead away from Kyle Larson with about 16 laps to go in this race. Logano goes on the outside for the lead. He started last, but finished with a checkered flat. Brad Keselowski finished second in this race. Danny Hamlin finished third. The Go Bowling 400 at Kansas Speedway, Saturday, March 13th. It's going to be Saturday night because they don't race on Mother's Day. Because Mother's Day.
Oh, that's right.
It's always a good reminder.
It's a NASCAR tradition.
Mother's Day the next day, yeah.
Yep.
Thank you. Well, Neville has been busy tracking rain in our area.
So much rain this weekend.
So much rain.
Gee, guys, it's about a month's worth of rain we've picked up in the last 48 hours. Typically for the month of April, we're talking about close to 4 inches of rain total for the month. Some parts of the area have seen more than that over the last 2 days. So flooding certainly an issue. Still parts of the area as you go just south of Johnson County on the Kansas side. So that includes you in Paola and into Lewisburg as well. Then on the Missouri side, just south of Jackson County and areas to the south and east, that includes you in Harrisonville, Warrensburg, Butler, over towards Sedalia, Marshall as well. You're under a flood warning until 1:15 tomorrow afternoon because those creeks, those rivers, they're still going to be running high, but they will start to go down, and that is the good news. But I want to get to that first alert there. Here's first alert live radar, and you're seeing some areas of light rain near Kearney, also a little farther south of Olathe, closer to Paola. That's where we're seeing some more of these showers, and you see the general direction, just like they were moving yesterday, just like we saw on Friday. They're lifting in from the southwest and heading toward the northeast. So we're going to continue to have off and on rain lifting into the metro over the next several hours. Think even into Monday morning because we've got this big spin in the atmosphere and you see a lot of color as well. And that's because we've got snow across western parts of Kansas, also western parts of Nebraska as well. No snow for us. We're not worried about that, but still some more of these showers until this whole system finally lifts off to the north and east. It's going to continue to bring us some rain. We had off and on showers today, and you probably noticed the very ominous looking clouds. Beth Masterson Luther sent in that great picture right there. And just a reminder, you can always email in on Twitter or on Facebook or Instagram. You can always send us your weather pictures. I do want to get you the first alert on disruptive weather that we're going to be tracking for you. The next few days, we'll continue to have creeks and rivers running at high levels. Hopefully, they'll drop down below flood stage because many of our waterways, especially south and east of the Kansas City metro area, are at or above flood stage. So those waterways will be going down the next few days. Tomorrow morning, I think we'll still have some of those scattered showers. So it'll be a wet start to your week, a wet start to your morning commute tomorrow. And then as we head into Wednesday, another chance for a few more scattered showers. Other than that, we are looking drier over the next 7 days. So there is some good news there, but we're still not out of the woods. So I want to make sure that you're aware of the weather safety here, flood safety, and make sure you do not walk through flood water. One of the easiest things you can do, just avoid it completely because it is very dangerous. People die every year in floods. We want that number to go down to 0. Flood water may be contaminated, may have oil, may have gas, may have sewage in it, so you don't want to be anywhere near it, don't want the kids playing in it. And it may also weaken the roads as the water goes back down. It may cause some of the soil to recede beneath the road and could cause the road to actually collapse in some instances. So it's something you want to make sure you're taking seriously. Overnight, still more of that rain. 39 degrees our low, so it is going to be a chilly night. We'll have a southwest breeze, and even with that southwest wind, our temperatures will still fall. Off and on rain. As far as how things look with the timing, I'll show you with Future Scan here. You see how those showers continue to drift through the region. That's a look at 7 o'clock in the morning tomorrow, and that's why I'm mentioning it's a wet start to our day. Not a washout, but showers here and there. So make sure you have the umbrellas handy, make sure the kids have the rain gear and the heavier coats because, as I just showed you, it's going to be chilly. There's lunchtime, still socked into the clouds, maybe a little bit of drizzle, but then look at the afternoon. The clouds start to move out. So we do get some sunshine back for the second half of the day on Monday, and that will help our temperatures warm back up into the upper 50s. Here's a breakdown for tomorrow. Near 40 degrees at 8 o'clock, scattered showers for your morning drive. Lunchtime, not much of a warm-up because of those clouds, only near 48 degrees, but then heading into the afternoon, about 59. We'll see those clouds moving out. We'll get some sunshine, showers mainly in the morning, and it will be breezy. Look at that wind out of the west at 15 to 25 miles an hour. So that's the wind you're going to notice. Good news, if you've got a ticket to the Royals game tomorrow, we want to win. At least the weather's going to help us out here a little bit. We'll have that mostly clear sky, 57 degrees for the first pitch, 7:15, taking on the White Sox, 54 as we head into the 9th inning. So some good news there with the weather. We want some good news there with a score and a result for the Royals, but at least you don't have to worry about the rain gear tomorrow evening. Heading into Tuesday, we are going to see more of that sunshine as well. A little warmer, 66 for a high. Showers possible on Wednesday. Looks like Tuesday night and Wednesday morning as of right now. 30% rain chance. That is not going to be the heavy rain like we saw over the weekend. And then after that, things are quiet. We can give First Alert Live Radar a break because we're going to dry things out heading into the weekend. Middle to upper 70s for Saturday and Sunday with sunshine. I'll take it.
I will take it. I heard it said tonight about the weather and the Royals. What happened in April stays.
We're going to leave it there. We're going to May's a new start.
That's right.
Well, our Martin Augustine will be live in Branson following the flooding concerns in that area. It's all on First News starting at 4:30 a.m. on KMBC.
Another runaway weekend for the 8th Fast and Furious movie. The Fate of the Furious was #1 for the 3rd straight week, taking in another $19 million. Around the world, the movie has now made $1 billion. The summer movie season begins next weekend with the release of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Well, tomorrow is May 1st, May Day.
And that means this may show up in your social media feeds.
It's gonna be May.
Well, people like to play off an old NSYNC song with It's Gonna Be May. Depending where you live, May Day is either a seasonal celebration or a day to celebrate workers' rights. Americans and Europeans tend to celebrate with maypole dancing and flower crowns. In many areas of the world, it's a labor holiday, and that's because it shares a date with International Workers' Day.
That song's going to be stuck in your head.
But we recognize it with NSYNC and Justin Timberlake, right? There we go. You can thank us later for that. Hey, let me get you up. Let me get you updated right now on First Alert Live Radar. Still some showers hanging on your pail and your gardener. Those are going to lift up to the north and northeast. More rain overnight, kind of hit or miss into your Monday morning. Morning drive, heavier coats near 40 degrees, scattered showers. Sunshine's back Monday afternoon. How about a high of 59?
We'll take it.
I'll take it.
A lot to look for. First News starts tomorrow morning, 4:30.